Welcome to the second session of the module on developing an export strategy. In this session, I'll take you through the different tools and frameworks for benchmarking competitiveness and market demand, as well as taking you through the different stages in analyzing the opportunities for exporters under Vietnam's new generation FTAs. Thank you for listening.
To develop a viable export strategy, the cooperatives should be aware of their strengths and limitations toward export, as well as the opportunities and challenges in penetrating the target markets. In other words, to decide where to focus their efforts, the cooperatives should consider both the supply and demand sides. This session will provide you with introduction to various analytical tools that are useful for supply side, market demand, market entry, and competitive analysis. We will explore data sources and provide demonstrations on how to download and interpret data from various sources such as the ITC Trade Map, ITC Market Access Map, and ITC Standards Map, among others. Let us look at the 4 stages involved in decision-making, which also apply to the export strategy development process. As we can see, the first step is data gathering, which emphasizes the importance of information in supporting the decision-making process, including the decision-making in export development and strategy building. Therefore, in this session, we will discuss the different tools that cooperatives can use to obtain data to assess the supply and demand dynamics to decide relevant actions in their export development efforts. A variety of data sources exists for the supply and demand analysis, from national, regional, and multilateral sources, as well as association and sectoral organizations. These include the databases from the United Nations Contrade, the International Trade Center, the World Trade Organization, the World Bank, the United Nations Contrade and Development, and the Food and Agriculture Organization. Given the need of the cooperatives, this section only introduces the ITC market analysis tools as they are relatively more user-friendly. Once you get familiar with these tools, you can transpire the skills obtained to utilize other available tools. Let's get started. In this session, we will explore different diagnostic tools developed by the International Trade Center. Each tool serves a specific purpose, as you can see in the table. For example, if you would like to look at trade flow information, you could use the ITC Trade Map. For rules of origin, you can use the Rules of Origin Facilitator. For this module, we will focus on the 4 tools: IC Trade Map, ITC Export Potential Map, ITC Market Access Map, and Rules of Origin Facilitator. Other tools will be introduced in a complementary video after this one. Take a moment to look at the different tools and their purpose before moving on to the next slide. We will now look at each of the tools more closely, starting with the ITC Trade Map. This is a tool developed by the International Trade Center to help both trade support institutions and enterprises answer questions about international trade and thereby facilitate strategic market research. Data is sourced from the UNSD Contrade database, as well as from the institutions in charge in each country or region. These institutions include national customs authorities, ministries of commerce, national statistical offices, regional organizations, among others. ITC Trade Map provides trade flow information for around 220 countries and territories by using both TID and mirror statistics. Data is presented at the HS2, HS4, or HS6 level on a yearly basis. Detailed trade flows at the national tariff line level are also provided for around 10,000 products from more than 150 countries on an annual basis and more than 100 countries on a quarterly or monthly basis. So, how can the trade flow data from Trade Map help you? Import and export values and growth figures, as well as the list of current importers and exporters of a specific product, can help to identify new export markets for a product, analyze a country's trade portfolio, and identify trade opportunities with a country's trading partner. To use the free tool, you only need to register online. Before using the tool, you should definitely have a look at the user guide, which is provided in English by ITC and which has been translated to Vietnamese for easy reference by cooperatives. We will now do a live demonstration on how to use the tool, which is accessible on www.trademap.org. First, we have to create an account. To do so, click on the Login button on the far right and then click on Register. You will need an email address to register your account. Note that creating an account allows you to access the whole suite of ITC market analysis tools, including Trade Map, Market Access Map, Market Price Information, and Export Potential Map, among others. Once you have registered, You will obtain an activation email and you have to click on the link in the email to begin using your account. Let us now log into the tool and start using it. Once you have logged in, you will be directed to the Home and Search page. This page is the starting point for all searches on TradeMap. First, you need to choose whether you will look for imports or exports data. Let us choose imports to find out the global market size for one specific product. Then, you have to select the product or a product group. If you know the HS code of the product, you can type it in the search bar. For example, for rice you would type 1006. Alternatively, you can type the first few letters of the product's name and then select the corresponding HS code. For example, if you type RIC if you want to select rice. But please note that the drop-down only contains 30 products. This is a feature that has been included to ensure that TradeMap loads quickly. If your product does not feature in this list, you should use the Advanced Search option. The Advanced Search option allows you to search at 2, 4 or 6-digit level. However, for some products, you will not obtain a match unless you search at national tariff line level. It is also important to consider the fact that HS codes are revised every 5 years. And you should be more careful if you are analyzing products that went through revision. Let us go back to the first page to choose the product we will analyze in this session. Let us choose rice and type it as a keyword. It is important that you choose the right product code for your analysis and therefore you should take some time to go through the different codes before selecting the right one. Let us choose 100630, which is semi-milled or wholly milled rice for our example. Since we want to look at the total demand for the product, you should leave the country or region field empty. If you want to look at the demand in a particular market or region, you can select from the drop-down or type the first few letters of the country. For our analysis, we will look at the global demand. You can then click on Trade Indicators to look at the results. We will discuss how to analyze the results in the next slide. The table of results provides several indicators, which we will now discuss. First, you have the importer countries, which are sorted by the value imported in the most recent year for which data is available. In our case, it is 2022. The other indicators include the trade balance, quantity imported, annual growth figures, share of world imports, average distance of supplying countries, concentration of supplying countries, and average estimated tariff applied by the country. You can download these results as Excel, Word or Notepad files for further analysis by clicking on the icons at the top. You can also look at the results in more detail for each country by clicking on the country of interest. For example, if I click on Malaysia, I will see that the top 3 exporters to Malaysia include Vietnam, Pakistan, and India. We are also provided with the ranking of the partner countries in world exports as well as the share of partner countries in world exports. Let us go back to the main results page. The plus sign under the HS column indicates that there is data available at a more detailed level for the selected product and the specific country. Let us click on this for Malaysia. The results show that the main type of rice imported in 2022 is that with HS 1006309900. At the top of the results table, you also have some interesting features, graph, map, and companies. The graph feature allows you to obtain different types of charts such as a bar chart showing the imported value by a specific number of countries in a given year. The map tab provides a heat map of the importing countries by value or share of imports. Finally, the companies tab provides the number of importing companies available in TradeMap by product category. If you click on the product of interest, you will get further details on the importing companies such as the country of origin and their website. Let us now go back to the home page to look at the different types of results that you can explore on TradeMap other than trade indicators. As you can see, You can also search for yearly, quarterly, and monthly time series data. An option is also available to search for companies importing or exporting a product. We recommend that you spend some time familiarizing yourself with the tool. You should also look at the video tutorials available on the ITC website. You can access these videos by clicking on More, Videos, Trade Map Video Tutorials. The third tool that we will look at is the Export Potential Map. This tool, developed again by ITC, provides information on products, markets, and suppliers that possess unrealized export potential. It also provides an additional ranking of new sectors that have favorable chances of export success. Data for variables used in the tool has been sourced from reliable international databases like the IMF World Economic Outlook Database, the UN Database, and the Global Trade Analysis Program, among others, as well as other integrated tools such as the ITC Trade Map and Market Access Map. The Export Potential Map measures export diversification for over 226 countries and territories spanning 4,490 products. Export potential takes into account elements such as the exporting country's performance in the export of products, demand for the products from the importer, and trade costs existing in trading to markets. All the data is provided at the HS6 digit level, calculated using the export potential methodology developed by the ITC. To reduce the impact of unreliable data reports, the products included in the tool have to be exported at least in the 3 most recent years and imported in all 5 years to show continuous demand and supply. The tool is free to use. Tutorials on the guide using the tool are also available on ITC's website and on YouTube. Let us now look at how to use Export Potential Map. Note that you do not need to log in to access the tool. First, we will look at Vietnam's export potential across products. Scroll down the home page and choose Vietnam as the country. As you can see, Vietnam has a total export potential of $275 billion. You can analyze the potential across products by clicking on Explore Products. The tree map shows the export potential for the top 50 products, and the size of the squares is proportional to the export potential. The products with the greatest potential in the world market include electronic integrated circuits as processors or controllers, machines for data transmission, reception or processing, and parts of telephone sets. To better interpret these results, you will notice that each sector is of a specific color. Each rectangle is shaded in proportion to the already realized potential. The lighter shade represents the unrealized export potential. Moving the cursor over one particular product provides the values for export potential, actual exports, and unrealized potential. There is a key findings section below the tree map that can help users analyze the results. The tree map can also be customized using a number of features. The sliding bar at the bottom left allows you to choose the number of products that you would like to display on the tree map. You can also select the subsector level to get an overall perspective. Furthermore, it is possible to filter the results by sector or product of interest. For example, if you select fertilizers and jewelry, new products appear in the tree map. Note that you can add or remove products by adding the keyword or HS code in the search box. You can also look at Vietnam's export potential in a specific country or regional market. Let us look at Vietnam's export potential to the EU. We can see that machinery, footwear, and textiles have a lot of unrealized export potential to the EU. You can use the Share or Embed button to share your results or embed the map on a website. You can also download the tree map. Note that you can also compare products with a gap chart or the Analyze Export visualization function. Let us now look at Vietnam's potential export markets for rice. On the home page, you have to choose Vietnam and then click on Explore Markets. Then, you must type in the product of interest, which in our case is HS100630. The interactive gap chart shows the markets according to their export potential, actual exports, and remaining potential. The white circle for each market shows the actual exports. The darker dash is the export potential value, and the line connecting these two provides the untapped potential when it is solid. When it is dashed, the line shows exceptional export performance exceeding the benchmark. Philippines, China, and the United States are the markets with greatest potential for Vietnam's exports of rice. Additional information shows that rice exports to Philippines have exceeded the benchmark values. On the other hand, China has $219 million in remaining potential. Japan shows the largest absolute difference between potential and actual exports in value terms, leaving room to realize additional exports worth $298 million. One final feature we will look at is how to identify options for product diversification. Let us go to Products and choose Vietnam. Then click on the Product Diversification feature below the tree map. The radio chart shows Vietnam's most promising options for diversification opportunities. Rubber gloves and mittens as well as ferronickel are the top two products identified. The size of the circle shows demand while the color of the circle corresponds to the sector. You can also sort by demand or supply. As for the previous tools, we recommend that you watch the ITC video tutorials available under Resources and then Tutorials. The next tool that we will explore is the ITC Market Access Map. This tool allows users to identify, compare, access, analyze and download data on various market access indicators. Market Access Map also offers a list of trade agreements with their corresponding texts of rules of origin and certificates of origin. Additionally, the tool allows for unlimited bulk data downloads and offers visualization of tariffs in specific sectors by country. Data for this tool is sourced from WTO's Consolidated Tariff Schedule Database, UNCTAD, the World Bank and the ITC's Trade Map database. Products are classified on the internationalized HS 6-digit level. The Market Access Map covers data from over 200 countries on applied tariffs, tariff rate quotas, trade remedies, regulatory requirements and trade flows. Data on the portal is available on an annual basis for the above described indicators and has been updated annually for each country since 1996. Again, this tool is free to use and tutorials on how to use the tool are available in English on ITC's website. You can access, compare and analyze without any registration. To download data, however, you must log into your personal account, which is the same for all ITC tools. Let us now look at how to use the ITC Market Access Map. Note that you can use the Access, Compare and Analyze modules without logging in, but you will have to log in to use the Download module. The login details will be the same as the ones you would have created for ITC Trade Map. On the home page, you can search for market access conditions by specifying the exporting country, the destination country and the product. Suppose you would like to check the tariffs and other market access conditions for exporting women's or girls' overcoats made of cotton from Vietnam to the United States. So you would select Vietnam as exporter and United States as importer. You also have to find the appropriate HS code for the product concerned. You can enter the HS6 code or the code at the national tariff line level. You can also search the HS code by keyword. Let us type overcoat in the search bar. We will choose 610220 which corresponds to our product. You can also use advanced product search to look for the HS code of the product. Once you click on search, you have to ensure that you are looking at the correct product at the national tariff line level if the importing country goes beyond the standard 6 digits for classification purposes. In our case, only one option is present in the drop-down list. Let us now look at the results. We find that the United States applies an MFN tariff of 15.9% on the women's or girls' overcoats made of cotton originating from Vietnam. No trade remedies are applied by the United States for this product. If there is a remedy applied to a specific product, in this section you will be able to access the documents legislating the trade remedy. Further down, you will also find the list of regulatory requirements applying to the product being investigated. These requirements include the restricted use of certain substances, labeling requirements, testing requirements, and certification requirements, among others. You can click on each requirement to obtain further details. You have access to when the measure entered into force as well as the original document. Finally, the tool also provides a list of requirements that apply to all products. It is important that you check the year in which the regulatory requirements were last updated in Market Access Map, as these may have changed. For our example, we see that the last update was in 2018, and therefore, you may have to do additional research to get the most up-to-date information. Let us now look at the Access module of the tool. Through this module, you can look at customs tariffs, trade remedies, export and import requirements separately and in more detail. Let us search for tariffs applied to women's or girls' overcoats of cotton exported from Vietnam to the US. We see the MFN tariff of 15.9% again. You can also expand your search to all exporting countries. In the results, you will see the non-MFN tariff as well as the preferential tariff extended by the US to trading partners. For each preferential tariff, you can access further details by clicking on Trade Agreement Details. You will be able to get further information on the agreement, the rules of origin, and the certificate of origin. You can click on Find Out More to see the product-specific origin requirements and other origin compliance information through the Rules of Origin Facilitator, another tool that we will explore later in this session. In Access Trade Remedies, you can start by filtering the type of trade remedy and then apply the same principles we have used in earlier explanations. For regulatory requirements, you have to specify whether you are looking at the requirement of the importing country or the exporting country. Let us now look at the Compare module of the tool. We will start with Compare Markets. This feature allows an exporter to evaluate the most attractive destination markets. Let us compare markets for the product 610220. The results can be viewed in a table, a chart, or a map. The table lists aggregated market access indicators for each of the 201 markets. Columns include the most favored nation tariffs, the effectively applied tariffs, preferential margin, tariff year, number of tariff lines under the subheading, the HS revision, the trade value in 2022, as well as whether a trade remedy is applied on the product. The table can be customized using the Show Hide column option. Let us add the number of trade agreements and distance to the table. You can also sort the columns to better interpret the results. Let us sort by preferential margin. The market with the best preferential margin is Thailand. The market with the highest exports of Vietnamese exports of women overcoats is the United States. The closest markets are Cambodia, Laos, and Thailand. You can download this table in Excel format for further analysis by clicking on the icon at the top. Let us now look at the tariff chart. You can customize the chart by choosing which countries and which type of tariff you would like to display. Let us now look at the map visualization. The colors represent the level of the effectively applied tariffs, whereas the bubble represents the current exports. We can see that Vietnam currently supplies this product to several markets in the world, with the highest trade values observed in North America and Europe. You can customize the map by using the features above it. Let's switch to trade agreements. You will recall that Vietnam benefits from the largest preferential margin with Thailand. Let us now select Thailand as a destination market and compare competitors who currently supply Thailand. Vietnam is in the top 3 current suppliers to the Thai market. We see that top competitors China and Indonesia also benefit from a preferential margin of 30%. As explained before, the results can be customized and viewed as a chart or map. The results can also be downloaded in Excel format for further analysis. Similarly, the Compare Products function allows you to compare tariffs and other market access indicators across other product codes. Next, we will look at the Analyze module. This tool is designed for researchers and economists. Users can search trade agreements between different countries. Let us look at all agreements that Vietnam is party to and that are in force. You can click on Details to obtain more information on each trade agreement. You can also sort by year to look at the most recent agreements. You can also relax the filter to see the agreements which are in negotiation or are inactive. Users can also explore the Global Trade Analysis Project, also known as GTAP, Tariff Dataset. Another module is Market Access Graphs, which visualizes tariffs and other market access indicators over time. Finally, we will look at the Download module. This module allows you to customize your queries and download market access data. 2 types of downloads are available: customized download or bulk download. You can customize your search by using the different fields available. Before downloading the results, you will have to check the box to confirm that you have read and agreed to the conditions of use and publication of data available through Market Access Map. You should then click on Submit Download Request to obtain the downloadable file. Market Access Map also has a new tab labeled Temporary Measures, which track trade measures adopted in response to COVID-19 and the war in Ukraine. Please take some time to familiarize yourself with this tool. Next, we will look at the Rules of Origin Facilitator. This tool was jointly developed by the ITC, the World Customs Organization, and the World Trade Organization. It aims to enable micro, small and medium enterprises, MSMEs, to better utilize free trade agreements and preferential trade arrangements complying with their rules of origin. The database covers rules of origin information for more than 350 trade agreements applied by more than 190 countries. The data recorded is taken directly from the texts of trade agreements. Each product-specific origin criterion is then coded into a universal classification system based on existing literature and common practice. The status of trade agreements is updated on a continuous basis. Whenever a new trade agreement is signed or enters into force, its status is updated in the tool. Tariff information is updated once a year for most countries. Registration is not required to use the Rules of Origin Facilitator. There are video tutorials and user guides, including a glossary of terms, in English, French and Spanish, for users on the site. Let us look at how to use the Rules of Origin Facilitator database. Note that registration is not required to use the tool. Suppose you are a trader from Vietnam and you would like to export computers to the Republic of Korea. On the home page, you should enter the details of the exporting country, the importing country, and the product code before clicking on Search. The results show that Vietnam is a party to 4 trade agreements with the Republic of Korea. We can see that all 4 agreements offer 0% MFN duty tariff. The rules of origin criteria and origin provisions for each trade agreement are also provided along with relevant documents such as the Certificate of Origin, Product-Specific Rules of Origin, the chapter on Rules of Origin, the chapter on Origin Procedures, and the full text of the agreement. You can click on the documents to access them. The certification provisions show the steps needed to obtain the Certificate of Origin. All these details will enable you as a trader to choose the best agreement under which to export to the market of interest. The Find Out More function will take you to a dedicated page on the trade agreement with further details on administrative procedures, relevant institutions' contact details, and additional market information. You will note that a self-assessment tool is included. This tool is, however, not yet functional. The Agreements module provides a list of all regional trade agreements and preferential trade arrangements in the world. You can select Vietnam as exporter to view all the agreements that Vietnam has signed. Clicking on Detail leads to a page with additional information as well as downloadable documents for the agreement. You can also visualize the origin criteria across products or by eligible trade. For example, for the RCEP agreement, change in tariff heading or regional value content of 40% applies to 3,267 products. A user guide is also available on the website for further reference. Thank you for listening to this session. We look forward to having you join us for the next module.